Gonna start working on the Traxxas Nitro Slashes. So at first I was thinking about putting a big block in this one, but I decided to just go with a Traxxas 1.5. I just replaced the chassis and upper chassis on this and the rear bumper because for some reason the previous owner decided to put a lock on it, and that's broken on the top chassis. Engine mount was broken, and yeah, we just had to replace that. So yeah, I didn't use all the stock screws. I had some of these stainless steel ones laying around, so replaced in some of the places, but not all. So yeah, these are the projects that I'm working on. I'll do 1.5s in here. Under the Ford Raptor I have a 3.3, and this one is pretty much ready to go. I'm just gonna test it, figure out what receiver I have in there. I forget, it's been a while since I've run it. And then I've got a 2.5 under here, and I know this one has an issue with one of the hinge pins in the rear. As you can see, it's backing out, and it keeps backing out, or kept backing out. That's why I needed to work on that one. But yeah, so these are the Traxxas Nitro Slashes I've got. I'm just gonna keep working on them. I've got a ton of parts to sort through. Parts galore in this box. I've got another little box of parts, so yeah, we'll get this stuff sorted and check back. All right, so I decided to just see what I could do with this one. This one with the new chassis. Yeah, I use different screws, some stock, some of the stainless steel. I'm not a huge fan of those. They were easy to get, easier to sort from this than this. So I also replaced the drive shafts and rear arms, and I replaced the pins that go here because those were bent as well. So got this thing in, I would call it a roller. I still have to figure out what I'm going to do with the electronics. It shouldn't be that hard because this is basically a Nitro Wrestler. So I just reverse the servo so that the spline's over here, and the servo horn will give it plenty of clearance to move this. So that's one good thing about the Traxxas Nitro two-wheel drive stuff. It's all pretty much the same. So yeah, just gotta figure out the servos, sort those from this. Yeah, I'll figure that out, and then move on to this one. I'm gonna remove these rear shocks and sort some from these old ones with the black springs, and figure out the stinger. That'll be interesting. I chopped the rear bumper off. I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep this on there, but yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and finish this one and then move on. Previous owner trimmed this off, the front bumper. But yeah, so that's what's going on with the Nitro Slashes. This is going to be really cool. I bent this air filter holder to hold the fuel lines, just because I'm going to use a different air filter. But it's pretty cool. Try to do something a little different, you know? I don't know how this exhaust is going to do, but we'll see. So, here we are. Got this old Futaba in here for the throttle. I was able to, like I said, just turn the servo around and have the throttle linkage work with that old rotary carb. So, I didn't even know, but I guess I had extra fly skies. There was a fly sky in here and in here. So, just go ahead and put that in there. I'll get it bound up, get the servos tested, centered, whatnot, and then this one should be ready to go with an air filter. Pretty excited on this. We'll see how this exhaust works out. After this one's sorted, I'll go ahead and pick up on this one. I decided to go ahead and do everything yellow to match the wheels, only because these fuel lines were the perfect length to match up. Anywho, I just got all the linkages set up, got the steering servo set up. I had to swap the servo. Those old ones were just not cutting it. I had this Spectrum one laying around, it fit perfectly, and it's fast, so I think all that's left to do is get an air filter, and I kept the stock on and off switch, but I cut off where it goes to the battery boxes. And what I'm gonna do is just solder on pieces that can plug in the batteries to. So, seeing as that's where I am here on this one, think what I'm going to do is just go ahead and start working on the next one. And when I get the soldering out, we'll get that taken care of. But yeah, I'm happy with the way this came out. Wanted to do something different with the 1.5s on the Slash. And I think this is going to work even with the size of the inside of that tube there. I don't think those bends are going to make too much of a difference. It even sounds pretty good when you turn over the engine. So there we are. On to the next one. Alright, so far on this, got the rear shocks sorted, the front shocks sorted, and I reversed the throttle servo. And I started cleaning the engine. Carb cleaned up real nice. It was seized. This rubber felt tired and like it would crack, but after some warm water and Dawn dish soap, it feels new again. So that's that. Still cleaning up the block and the head and the header. Those are soaking in some warm water with Dawn dish soap. They just need a little more elbow grease and they should be ready to go for installation. And then I gotta do the linkage and get some wheels on this and it should be good to go. So we'll get that stuff sorted and check back. Got the head, the block, and the header cleaned off. The amount of stuff that was caked on here, just mind-boggling. I'm surprised it came out this clean. I didn't think I was going to get any of this stuff off. It's a little dirty inside between the fins, but that's alright. Again, inside there was disgusting as well. And there was a lot of gunk in this, in these nooks and crannies. I was able to pull the sleeve and clean off the head. I didn't bother going inside. We're just going to send it. Got things all cleaned up. Just need to get some filter foam, a glow plug, and some wheels. And a coupler. But yeah, this is coming along good. The shocks aren't leaking, which is something I was looking for. Especially here in the rears. So that's good. So yeah, like I said, just gotta get a filter foam, some wheels, exhaust coupler, and finish the linkage. This is coming along well. This is the first time I've seen a Traxxas Nitro Slash with a stinger pipe on it. So that's pretty cool. Found these wheels laying around. I don't really like these stock Traxxas ones. I especially don't like the red, but that's what I have, so that's what I'll use. Found this red coupler as well. But yeah, I think the biggest challenge here was getting this high-speed needle fuel port to be facing the right direction, because it was interfering with the transmission case here. So it's just kind of a pain in the neck to tighten that two-piece needle housing back onto the carb, because of that gasket, if you will. I don't like to have it be all scrunched down and popping out, so it's just hard to get it to be just right, but managed to do it. So the last thing I need to do with these two 1.5 slashes is solder on a connection so that I can have a battery to plug in, be installed. So pretty cool. To see these next to each other like that. Wanted to do something different. I was able to do it with these 1.5 engines. We're used to seeing 3.3s in them, so had to mix it up. So yeah, like I said, the last thing I gotta do is the linkage and the electronic setup on this one, and then some soldering here to get that one complete. And then we can get on to the next project. It's really cool to see those exhausts. I like a rear mounted exhaust. Side pipes are good, obviously, for performance and stuff. I just don't like when the exhaust fumes get all over the side of the vehicle and all up in the wheels and stuff, so yeah. We'll see. All right, so here's the Nitro Slashes. This is the 3.3 and the one that's the most ready to run. Got to do something with these camber links. This is the 2.5, the dirtiest one. And I need to do something with that rear pin, hinge pin. It keeps backing out and things get wobbly. So I'm gonna sort that. And with the 1.5s, I've got to solder one of the plugs on here so I can plug in a battery to it. Get a filter for this one. And this one should be good to go. Got to do the soldering here as well. Finish the fuel lines. Get a filter and finish the electronic linkage. So this Nitro Slash project is almost to an end. Just got to tidy up a few last things on it, and then these trucks should be ready to go. Be interesting to race one of these with one of the team associated SC10 GTs. I gotta say though, working on these compared to those, I gotta say these Traxxas Nitro vehicles are much easier to work on. They definitely did their homework, and there's joy in not too many parts. I think they did a good job at simplifying things in that way. So it's one of the things I've noticed in working on the different brands, Nitros especially, is that the Traxxas requires the least in a good way. So yeah, I hope that you found this stuff helpful or interesting, and you'll be looking forward to seeing these cars in the future. I'll do some driving videos with them. But for now, we'll get on to the next build series. I'm most excited about this one, to be honest. I want to see how that tube holds up. So, yeah, thanks for checking it out. Many more projects to come. This is just a little bit of the Traxxas stuff I have. There's many more vehicles that you'll see. So stay tuned, and thanks for checking it out. We'll see you in the next one.